So, editing down coming in here real soon, real quick, I know. But this was originally supposed to be a movie reaction. Within this video, you're still gonna kind of get that. However, when I tried to upload this, it was stuck in copyright jail forever, and MGM won't let up. I've been having so many issues with MGM this year. That's why you haven't been seeing a lot of movie reactions this year. I've had so many planned out, but it's just not working in my favor. So I think in the future, I may have to stop MGM films. However, I spent so much time putting this together, I didn't want it to go to waste. So I had this idea to still put these clips together, like just to see my thoughts throughout the film. You just won't see the movie itself. It sucks that I have to do this because I was really excited for you guys to see like my actual reaction to this movie. I mean, yes, you're gonna see that, but I wanted this to be a proper reaction video because this movie truly surprised me. I went into it thinking it was gonna be a fun beach movie, but in the end, I got like what I consider a beautiful coming of age film. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. It ended up making one of my top 10 films of the year so far. So I still want to put my thoughts out there. I want to make sure I didn't just make this video for nothing. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'll try to edit in context so you guys know what I'm reacting to. But I do want to apologize in advance if the editing of this video is kind of sloppy. I'm trying to get around it. I'm so sorry, but I hope you guys enjoy anyway. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Dom. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I typically make bookish content, movie content, and anything else in between because I like to do whatever I want on this channel, and tonight is going to be movie content. For today's video, I'm finally going to be doing a movie reaction. I'm going to be watching 1960s Where the Boys Are. So how did I decide on this movie? Well, I wanted to watch like a fun beach movie, and from what my father has told me, my dad's a boomer. He was born in the 50s, so he grew up in the 50s and 60s. He told me around that time, like, these beach movies were a big thing. I chose this one in particular just because it's the only one I really know by name. And I know this movie because I love the song by Connie Francis, who's also an actress in this movie, and who, rest in peace, by the way. I was so sad to find out when she died. Admittedly, I only know 3 songs by her. This one, Stupid Cupid, and the one that's popular on TikTok right now. Other than that though, I actually don't know much about this movie. I just know there are a bunch of Midwesterners going on vacation. They want to leave the Midwest, which as someone who has left the Midwest, girl, I feel that. Other than that, I really don't know what to expect, so let's just jump right into it. And I know he's looking there for me. That's a class? Ew. I was taking Introduction to Biology, I took an evolution class, an extinction of species class, I did not take courtship and marriage. Oh boy. So interesting how much has changed since 1960. Ooh. Also, I've heard the stories. Y'all were having hookups back then the same way people are having hookups now. Humans have not changed. Or I'll kill myself. Aw, good for her. All these like name drops for colleges. UW-Madison over here.
We've survived it before, and I reckon we're gonna survive it again.
Not the Civil War. Yeah, see, for spring break, I went home to Chicago. Didn't do any of this. This is actually really cute. Like the whole young love aspect. Good for them.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Was this movie scandalous when it came out? Like, it's very open. He wanted that one night stand so bad.
Legal, of course. And
wait. Hold on. Okay, so these girls are from the same state I ran away from. I feel this movie even more. Because I hate the Midwest. This movie feels scandalous for its time. God, this guy's a dick. God, his eyes are like this big in those glasses. No, you could do better. This is cute. I need a rich boyfriend. Boys are so horny in this. I'm uncomfortable for her. I don't think she's getting what she wants from those men. Was Melanie hurt? I got the vibe she was sexually assaulted by that man, and she's saying what she can to cope. I get the vibes that something bad happened. That picture in the background I feel like has to be symbolism for what this movie is about, like female sexuality and sensuality. I think another interesting thing about when this movie takes place is the rush to get married at this age. Like there's still people like this today, but not many. Like most of my peers aren't like this. But I was thinking about this though throughout the movie. The men and the women want two different things. Like the men just want hookups, sex, a fling. The women are looking for marriage, which I get for the time period because this is when women were housewives. They needed to be married, whereas men, it didn't affect them that much. You know what I mean? Oh, he ain't shit. Yeah, I see why. Girl. Yeah, he's shit with women because that's how he treats them like garbage. I know, this poor girl. Fuck this guy. I saw it coming. I thought he was gonna be a douchebag. Ditching your date mid-date for another woman is crazy. Just the way all the men turned out in this movie, I was expecting him to ditch them. I'm glad he's going with this poor girl. I would have kicked his ass to the curb. Fuck that. Oh my god. So, wow, that was Where the Boys Are. I am filming this like a half hour later because I needed to sit there with my thoughts because the tears were streaming down my face a little there. I went into this expecting like a fun teen beach movie because that's how this was advertised to me. My father and I have different definitions of fun. This was a great movie, but I was expecting like the Annette Funicello vibes I was always told about, and instead I actually got a pretty serious and deep exploration of female sensuality, sexuality, female independence, and especially, and I think it was just considering the time this came out in 1960 and you still had the Hays Code going on. This was still the era of housewives. Women were expected to just get married and have children. What am I trying to say? I'm like rambling a bit because I'm just kind of taken aback by what this movie ended up being. It was an excellent, for its time, exploration of what it's like being a woman. But especially when it comes to female sexuality and how we handle our own bodies. I mean, that was made pretty apparent in the beginning when the student challenged the teacher and had a very modern view around sex, especially sex before marriage. It was also the way all of these women were acting. There was that one painting I pointed out that was in the background of a woman who seemed kind of religious but also had a very indecent outfit. I did look up if this movie was controversial for its time, and from what I was skimming, I didn't really read any articles, but from what I skimmed very briefly, I guess it was, especially because it was so open about sex. And I do want to say, for a movie that came out in 1960, I still, out of all the movies I've seen today, whether they came out in the silent film era or today in 2025, I feel like this is one of the best movies to handle that topic. One of the more open movies I've ever seen. I feel like even today a lot of movies try to dance around this topic because, like, God forbid teens know what sex is. But like, it was nice to hear characters just be upfront about it and just to say the word rather than have like a not so funny innuendo. And I think because of that, it made the movie feel more vulnerable, which I think is maybe what contributed to my reaction near the end there. And God, you can't help but feeling for everyone in this movie. I guess in a way, because of the time period and how things were changing, in a way, I guess you can argue that this kind of is a warning, like, oh, if you do this, this is gonna happen to you. But then also at the same time, I guess in my modern lens, I couldn't help but like feel for all these women at one point. Melanie being the most obvious, like that. showing us a rape scene without actually having to show us. I think they actually did an excellent job with that. The movies where like it's highly hinted at a character was raped, I always think get the point across better than the movies that just straight up have a rape scene, because no one actually like wants to watch that, especially me as a woman. I don't really like scenes where there's violence towards women, you know? So I think being subtle about it the way this movie was, and another movie I'm thinking of, Woman Talking, these two movies do it really well, where it's like highly hinted at the woman was raped without actually having to show us. But the portrayal of the shame around that was so well done. It was absolutely heartbreaking, because yeah, you do feel like when someone violates you like that, you do feel like you lose a part of yourself. And especially back then, I can only imagine, because it's a huge thing now, the way women feel when this happens to us. But I can only imagine back then, when so much of your worth was, you know, being married, not having a body count. It goes back to the beginning of this movie. Does Melanie now think, you know, she's not pure anymore? Did she have sex before marriage, which was such a taboo topic in the beginning? And something I really appreciate about this movie too is it dared to challenge rape culture, because you had that one character, Ryder. He was hinting he thought it was Melanie's fault. Swear to God, this is the only movie where a character explicitly challenged that. Merritt said in so many words, like, it's not her fault, it is Dill's fault for doing that. It's Dill and Frankie's fault for tossing her around like that. I was just shocked to see that, because I feel like even modern movies don't dare to challenge that. I feel for the one character with the weird name, she was super tall. I do recognize her. I have seen her before. She's in Stepford Wives, so that's why I recognize her. But there's that one scene that broke my heart, and I understand this scene was more of a sign of the times, but she was saying women like her are only good for marriage and children, so that's what she wants. And like, some women like genuinely want that, but like I feel like there's that part of her that believes she didn't deserve to be educated, and that breaks my heart. Like, all women deserve to be educated. And then you got Merritt, who was just sharing this grief with everyone in the movie. And when calling out Ryder near the end there, you know, when she was explicitly saying whose fault this all really was, she was saying what I was noticing throughout the movie. The men in this movie, all they want is sex. Then you have the women who are looking for like genuine connections. And I understand one of the reasons that's in the movie, it's because it is a product of its time, but also at the same time, a character called it out. They don't even do that in modern movies. They really call it out in modern movies. You have a movie in 1960 where a character is calling this out. Okay, my memory card ran out of battery, so I'm filming the rest of this on my phone. Out of all the men in this movie, though, Ryder is my favorite. Like, he is one of the only ones to step up and help Melanie. In the beginning, I just thought he was the nicest out of all four guys. TV, what's her face? The Stepford Wives girl, she is nicer than I am, because I would have kicked that man to the curb. He left her mid-date for someone else, like, to her face, not even behind her back. Absolutely wild. And I didn't like Basil, whatever his name was. He was a dick, and he was a dick to like Angie's face, and she just went with it. I think another thing is too, I appreciate how real this movie is with its audience, because I feel like you go online sometimes, and I see older people of older generations saying like, oh, you youngins are terrible. Back in my day, we didn't do that. And here's a movie being like, yeah, this absolutely happened back in our day too. People want to act like hookup culture is some brand new phenomenon in the 2020s, but no, y'all were doing that in the 1960s. Y'all were falling in love, having fun dates, having little puppy loves, love at first sight, what have you. In this movie's perspective, it is saying this has been happening with teens. This has always happened. It's still happening in 1960. And from my lens, quite frankly, it's still happening in 2025. Like, humans don't change. And I think it should be okay to talk about these things. I think that's all I want to say for now. I don't think that was like a cohesive analysis, conclusion, what have you. I'll fix it in editing. Hopefully there's not much I need to fix. But I'm still kind of like dazed from what I watched. That just was not at all what I was expecting. Too long didn't listen about my thoughts towards this movie is that it's just such a realistic portrayal of, you know, late teens, early 20s, girls, women, young adults, if you will, trying to navigate life. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully in the future I won't have to do this format again. But maybe this is something I could rely on. This could be a backup plan if any of my movie reactions ever get caught up in copyright again. Let me know your thoughts down below about anything you watched in this video. Get a big thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. And without further ado, I'm going to peace out, and I'll see you guys later. Ciao, tutti.